basically. I get that. But if I want to do tax evasion because the government initiated force on me by stealing my money via taxation, he believes that is immoral. Me doing tax evasion is immoral, although I'm continuing the aggression, not initiating it. And
that's incoherent.
And that is incoherent because his justification is that, but it's illegal. So you get your morality from the law. And then he says, no, I don't. But yes, you do. That's amazing.
So his only standard is whatever the government says.
His standard is what
Ayn Rand says.
What Ayn Rand says, and he for some reason does use the law to he does rely on the law for his morality or to justify his morality.
Did you resolve with Manville his biblical claim that you have to follow the police?
No, he just simply couldn't argue it. He just simply
you kind of like really attacked his whole worldview, man.
Yeah, dude, I've been a rabbi for 3 years and a half. Although I resigned.
But Church of the Lavishing Love is close?
Yeah, old habits.
Did you resign in protest?
No, I resigned because I don't do it for free anymore. But if you want to learn about the Bible, you're gonna have to pay me. Like if you want real education, you can come to me. If you want to, that's just what it is. But so because I have something real to offer, Diego, then I expect payment.
Mm-hmm. No, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like I promoted Bitcoin back in the day. I don't talk about it anymore. You don't have to pay me if you want to talk about it.
Exactly. Education doesn't come for free.
Yeah.
I don't have as much Bitcoin as Rico.
I did plant a seed.
No, not as much as Rico.
I did plant a seed of doubt, and I told them until you reconcile with my, you will never have a day of rest up until you come with an answer to this question.
Until you come.
Tell me what you disagree.
Exactly, and that's the truth. They're just not going to be able to cover.
So you would respect Simon more if he was like David, where he doesn't have a justification; he just has a position.
No, I respect Simon. I would appreciate him more if he understands that which he criticizes. Simon is the type of nigga who criticizes the Titanic, but he never read it. He never watched it. Sorry, he never watched the movie, but he's writing reviews about it. Which is fine. It's totally fine. It's just that I believe when you review things, like there should be something. Like this guy didn't watch the movie. Like it should make that somehow. We should be able to identify.
At least he's consistent.
I don't think Simon is. I don't think he's consistent. I think he betrays his own principles out of convenience.
I'll
give you an example. Tax evasion. He thinks tax evasion is immoral. Although by his standard, he should not be saying that.
I
think his position has shifted on that.
Taxation is theft.
You see, no, because he doesn't think taxation is theft. See, you have to start with that point.
And
I told him, this is an English language problem. You don't speak English properly. You just don't understand the definition of taxation.
If he doesn't think taxation is theft, then he shouldn't talk about socialism or capitalism. He clearly doesn't understand it. Or freedom. Or he should not be talking about freedom. He should not be talking about property rights, for example.
Interview, though.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. So what you believe is in conditional property rights.
Conditional.
And he believes in taxes. That means you believe that the one who... So you believe that whoever knows how to make money shouldn't have the money.
You can watch the interview here with candidate Congressman John Kitover below. I didn't try to use your
IP. How do you figure that?
I'm also not irrelevant, nor do I act impulsively.
Because I believe I would rather pay my tax to Elon Musk than the government. Elon Musk will put my money to better use than the government.
You mean you'd rather pay $10,000 a year to X than
to Elon Musk?
You get more value out of it than
yeah, I would rather give money to the richest man in the world than give money to the government so that they redistribute it and redistribute 10% of it and pocket 90% of it, and then the 10% that they do redistribute, they give it to those who they don't even know what to do with it.
Well, he's rich by the very virtue of the fact that he's very efficient, right? That he doesn't squander all his savings. That's why he's rich.
Yeah, like I do believe if I give my money to Elon Musk, he will put that money in an actual project that actually will do something. If I give it to the government, it'll be pocketed by incompetent people, and it'll be redistributed to people who don't want to work, lazy people, whatever, people who don't know how to spend that money. Why would I do that? I want zero.
Because, okay, I'm going to argue like Simon, because you need a monopoly of property right enforcement.
So because I need...
Hi, Emma.
So, okay, let me tell you this. You also need to protect your businesses. So why not have the mafia come and extort you and take 30% of your money to protect
Oh, please be specific.
Yes, the only thing is that there's multiple mafias. There's only one government.
The government, exactly, and I would rather have like 100 mafias than have one big mafia.
That's why I told him. I said you claim you're free market, but then when it comes to this, like the most important thing, which is security, you're anti-market, and he doesn't see it.
He is anti-market. What kind of stocks does he own? What kind of what does he own?
Hey, I don't own any stocks, so I mean, and I'm pro markets.
What capital does he own? Okay, fine, but you do own Bitcoin. That's capital. You own other thing. You own home.
Every day since this man has passed, and y'all gotta chill.
Now they hold it.
Let me just say this.
Now they hold
I'm so sick of
the tribute.
They
got full circle.
I want to come and play Kumbaya.
They got full circle.
Senses, and he had a family. Bitch, we don't give a fuck. We do not care.
Well, I thought it was a tribute.
We sorry. He shouldn't have got shot.
I thought it was a tribute.
That's not what we agree with. But bitch, stop trying to tell black people to fucking have sympathy for people who hated us when they were here. Get the fuck out of here. This is why black people are the way they are in this country. Because y'all patronize us and try to play in our fucking face every time. Bitch, we watched for a decade black people get shot on camera. On fucking camera. And none of you motherfuckers got in here and did none of this. Y'all didn't do none of this twisting and turning. But soon as a white boy died that hated us, y'all want us to motherfucking show our humanity. Man, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. And I'm dead ass serious. Any of y'all white people that's on that, shut your fat ass up, bitch.
No,
I'm not done talking. Y'all always got something.
That's not true. When Floyd died,
and this is the thing.
I
You
said
don't
the
know how to
same
shut
thing.
the fuck up. You think that you can talk over a black person when I'm talking, because y'all are so indignant. Y'all are so privileged. Nobody has ever told y'all to shut the fuck up. Be quiet. Y'all think y'all can talk over people? Y'all think when y'all get mad, the world has to stop? That's not how it goes, bitch. And I'm so sick of y'all coming in here telling black people what to do and how to feel. Fuck y'all. We said we didn't want the man to die. That's all you getting.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I don't think anyone should be killed by anyone else ever. Like that's my own ethic, right? But the conversation I would be interested in is, instead of going, round and around about this same thing of how people feel or they don't feel. We've talked about this so much. The conversation I'd be interested in having is around political violence and how we define that. Because I feel like political violence is too narrowly defined in terms of acts of physical violence. Now, speech, if you imminently call for harm to come to other people, like if you say, we should all take up arms right now and go over there and kill those people, that is considered political speech. But to me, the ambiguity is, where do you draw that line of what is considered calling for harm to come to other people? I find that to be too ambiguous, because I feel like, to me, there's a broader spectrum of what political violence is. And because of that, I feel like the statements that he made, I feel like they did engage in political violence, but I haven't really heard people talking about this part of it. So anyway, and I know there's other people who'd be like, nah, you can say anything, short of calling for somebody to shoot someone else, and then it's not political violence until we're getting physical. So that's not my perspective, but I'm just interested to hear what other people think about this.
Hi, Malak. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, I wanted to say, and good morning, everybody. Couple of things. I feel like, first of all, no, nobody should be killed. I know this has been brought up a million times, but I also feel like that particular comment or statement, not from you, but that particular statement about the whether he's killed or not is almost a deflection of why we got here. A lot of what he said, and there's a whole Wikipedia section that talks about the thing that cites the sources of things that he has said. There is political violence at a certain level. Black people in particular have always had to deal with folks when they start going down a rabbit hole, talking about how it could be from small things ranging from how unqualified somebody is to very strange ideas about comparing Martin Luther King and Terrence, and you know who I'm talking about, the Supreme Court justice. That's always been a problem with racism. There are some people who treat it as a personal opinion. I attended, and not to make it too political, I do see it sometimes from somebody from a conservative side, and I sort of get it to a certain degree. It's the idea that you're treating someone as an individual, and sometimes the people do see that as personal. But a lot of that, particularly on a political stage, especially on a political stage, has always been dog whistles for racism. And I think the problem that conservatives sometimes don't understand is that they stand on a lot of ideas. And a lot of those ideas aren't necessarily bad ideas, but ideas can be corrupted. It's the same thing when someone says that someone's being Christian, and they're still using racist terms. In fact, if you look at the Ku Klux Klan and that history, there was a little bit of mix of Christianity with racism, the idea that we were destined to do this. And he didn't distance himself from that. That's a big part of the problem. So when people are upset and angry, particularly now, it's those statements plus where we are within this country. The idea that we are sort of relitigating racism at a certain level. Keep in mind, Kirk made $300,000 a year. And it's really almost saying he made it's $300,000 a year on conservatism, but it's also $300,000 a year on racial attacks that were not really structured in a way that I would call even intellectual, to be quite honest. It was done to get the people that they wanted to get. And I don't think it's really I think it's hard to ask people to be calm about that when these are dog whistles that have traditionally been used for racism, and no one separates that out. And the same thing when you talk about LGBTQ issues as well too. So I hope that builds on the conversation. And thanks for hearing me out.
The top of the rising to you all.
Good day, top of the rising, brother.
How are you feeling this morning?
Hey, all smiles, brother. Despite the mainstream news, I am surrounded by solutions and not problems.
I didn't try to use
Shout out to y'all, shout out to the stage, shout out to the chat.
Compulsive.
Hope everybody's eating and
I also
drinking
didn't
better
enlist
than ever.
Max Rice to attack you. All lies.
Likewise, beloved. Enter the room, First Lady, and all of those responsible for keeping a strong social political network going here. I think Clubhouse is a great room. Well, I assume the unmistakable 10,000-pound gorilla hanging upside down on the ceiling. It's hard to miss the Charlie Kirk story and his wife and Donald Trump and then
The greatest thing about this room is it goes all day long.
orchestrators. And could this all be fake news? It's a pertinent cross-examination question. Given the light of 9/11 and other catastrophes, and when you connect the dots, Howard Hughes' network at TWA didn't fly the 767. They flew a 747. That was a raggedy, because the other one was not disposable. But nevertheless, we have so much going on here with Charles Kirk. This is a guy that wanted to fan the flames of diversity and not having any form of inclusion. So you understand, and I think he could have been well paid by the Donald Trump network or Netanyahu's network. They want to give this guy the Freedoms Award, one of the highest awards that he could pass out to anybody. You want to say this man is baby Jesus, a white Jesus. So all of the motives are questionable, and the news could be potentially fake, because just like if you all remember Teddy Olson, his wife was on the 9/11 flight and disappeared and reappeared. And some folks are saying that this guy has reappeared somewhere. There's I don't know if it's fake news, all of it, some of it, but those things are definitely in the news. And I think we're just set out to vilify, we the people, in a subtle manner. They would vilify our people to keep us out of the mainstream of operations in America. That's my take. I'll land my plane with facts, as I always do, and say my mind.
Yeah, it's been a lot going on surrounding this. Looking at somebody's PTR, I'm 100% with culturally, like,
I can try to use your IP.
I don't understand if people are, you can't force people to care about something, but people can feel like this isn't right to kill someone on a public. I don't think that's right.
No, but Patty, it's almost like they're baiting someone to say something negative, right? Like no one's saying nothing negative. Everyone is like, okay, the guy passed away. It's unfortunate, but what else do you want someone to say?
Right.
And that's the part I don't like, Haitian. It's like, okay, well, you can't say how he was, or we gotta ignore the things that he said himself. We it's given like Nazi Germany for real, because it's like you need to say this and make sure it sounds. Why would I do that?
Yeah, and then if you're just saying, you don't agree with that type of violence, then it's like, oh, you guys said this, motherfucker. You didn't say what someone said. It's weird, bro.
I'll put it this way from my end of it too. The whole disagree thing works only if you can really, number one, if you can even know what's the shared value. When Kirk is spouting racism, again, like I said, clear dog whistles.
Oh, hey, fellow.
And
welcome to my incredible production of super stupid people wasting all their time talking about nothing.
The debates are supposed
Post
to
the receipts in the chat, oh fellow.
Whether you build a highway across the state, or whether you build a data center, things that involve infrastructure that might impact several things down the line, a little bit more strategic. The sad part about that whole disagreement thing is that we don't apply that to those instances. We try to apply it to things that are unethical. And I think that's a big part of the problem as well. And one last thought before I land, I'm particularly interested in hearing what the motivation that gets assigned to Tyler. I'm not sure. I appreciate Cox for trying to kind of manage the moment. Governor Cox from Utah, but I don't entirely buy the idea that Reddit is necessarily the reason why this person would go and kill somebody. Social media can be bad, but it requires engagement. And I don't feel like they really are getting to it, but at the same time, the suspect is also not cooperating. So it'll be a while before we get to that point. But I'm more interested in the motivation, because I think that would help guide the conversation further about, you know, how do we get past this moment. And I'll land there.
Is it going to be like a public? I'm assuming public and everything. The services.
The what?
The service.
The service? Yeah, I think. Well, not the service. I think. I know. I don't know.
There's a live stream today. I think.
Of this room.
I think there's a live stream today. I know that there's a service in Arizona at the Cardinal Stadium, like a public. Yeah. So that part I've read online.
The continuity of fake news is that the widow of Charlie Kirk. Could you imagine the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy and Caroline Kennedy coming to the mic and rocking the mic, and or Robert Francis Kennedy or Dr. King, any of those there attempting to equate? Immediately she runs to the mic and said, we're going to build this movement, or we're going to have a continuity, using the blonde hair and the blue eyes to say, petrify those that may criticize these actions of Netanyahu, especially with fake news saying that the guy was an ally. He many times criticized Israel, and he labeled him as the guy that was so pro-Israeli. So, but then he buys time immediately with all that war going on.
We have reached critical mass and done it again.
Prime time television, worldwide television.
Enjoy the show,
especially American television, to tell us that this guy was his man. That was his point guard. So him and Donald Trump share a point guard in Charlie Kirk. It just has all the makings of it. I'm not saying it is fake news, but it has all of the components, much of the makings of fake news. And of course, we know that Donald Trump is the inventor, the producer, the orchestrator of fake news. And the attempt of the fake news.
Trump created the fake news
as a master of deception.
The master.
And public deception is one of the highest crimes that you could do as a public official, right next to malfeasance and violating or omitting the volition or the will of the people, which I'll land my plane on the facts as you know them to be, as always, by saying my.
No, that's a good point you raised there, brother.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, his wife. That we've never seen a 180 like that in politics, especially in like a JFK like assassination.
And then here comes the widower. Oh, my man's a good man. Let's build him up. As a mob.
Anything to deflect from Epstein, anything to deflect from Gaza, anything to keep them out of jail, because they're going to go to jail, both of them.
Because the potential is great. Possibilities may be slim. That lady was Barbara Olson that was spotted after 9/11. She was a CNN reporter who happened to be the wife of Teddy Olson, who happens to be the Solicitor General or the big-time lawyer for the standing president, George W. Bush, at that time of the 9/11. And there was so much fake news from just the faking about the building crumbling and the faking about the airlines and the connection, the faking at the Pentagon, saturated with fake news. As well, this is saturated with fake news. And I think just have to expose these facts and check the wicked, because expose their wickedness and their attempts at being a fulfillment decoy, that we will see their futile attempts to manipulate the masses of the people is a high crime for real. I'll land my plane on that fact. I want to show you some of these are the real criminals that the National Guard should be going after at this hour.
It was very powerful of his wife, though, to come out and say what she said, how she said it. I know she didn't name names, but that definitely took a lot of guts to get out there and do that. But you got to go all the way. You got to name names, or else, now you're a target.
Good morning, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to get my car parked. It's hard for me to, y'all can't hear anything. But what was y'all talking about? The last comment?
Just speaking on Erica and how brave it was for her to come forward, and even though she didn't name names, but to, seek justice and not want to lose momentum on that sensitive time frame. First 48 type shit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, she just lost her husband, so she's going through a lot. She's trying to pick up the pieces and try to figure out where they're going to go forward, at least with their business.
Yeah, that wasn't easy getting up there.
I agree. So let me see if I can find some other. Maybe we need to focus on other news for now, at least until the podcast come on, because there's more than just Charlie Kirk going on in the world, y'all. So, breaking. Let me see what's going on. NBC. Golly, everything is That's Charlie Kirk. It's NBC. Ooh. Okay, so this is some news. South Korea is probing for human rights abuses in the U.S. and U.S. raid as Trump insists foreign workers are welcome. So this article says South Korea said Monday that it would investigate whether its workers suffered any human rights violations during a raid by U.S. authorities. Foreign workers are welcome in America, Trump said on social media Sunday, after the emotional return of 300 workers to South Korea. But their detention following a raid by immigration authorities at a Hyundai plant in Georgia has stunned the key U.S. ally. I understand the government is conducting a more thorough review with the companies to determine whether any human rights violations occurred, presidential spokesperson Kang Young-jung said in a press briefing Monday, according to the Yonhap news agency. The foreign ministry is looking at whether our demands were properly addressed, and the companies are still conducting their own reviews. There is a clip. Yeah, South Korea is not playing about their people. They locked their ass up, and because they were there illegally. But how you treated them while they were in prison, they're not playing that shit. Not with David. So let me go ahead and play this clip real quick, at least until we're able to listen to this podcast.
Hundreds of workers detained in shackles in the U.S. have returned to South Korea, arriving to applause and dozens of cameras. Officials here telling journalists to not film workers' faces at the airport to protect their privacy. But away from the terminal, where workers reunited with family, how good does it feel to be home? Some spoke publicly for the first time about the immigration raid in Georgia that ignited a diplomatic crisis. These workers said it was like being in a movie with armored vehicles and guns pointed at us, he says. There was no way we could resist, so we all just surrendered and were taken. Others described the cold conditions and prison food. He says he's feeling, quote, nothing but joy to be home. The drama started September 4th when armed agents with ICE stormed a $4.3 billion battery factory being built by Hyundai and LG.
You're going to search warrant for the whole site.
475 people were rounded up there, accused by immigration officials of working illegally in the U.S. What type of visas they were on, or if they had visas at all, still isn't clear. U.S. authorities saying using foreign laborers hurts American workers.
We are sending a clear and unequivocal message that those who exploit our workforce, undermine our economy, and violate federal laws will be held accountable.
But the images of Korean workers carted off in handcuffs were on news channels everywhere, sparking outrage here over their treatment.
Pull-up is illegal!
South Korea's government chartering a plane and making a deal to bring them back. A lot of attention is being paid to these images of the South Korean workers arriving home safely and with dignity after an ordeal that could threaten relations with the U.S. The raid has set off alarms at South Korea's biggest companies that are pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into U.S. manufacturing, the sort of foreign investment President Trump has demanded in trade talks. The problem is visas. Companies here often use short-term B1s or B2s or visa waiver programs to get skilled workers onto projects. Even South Korea's president said there needs to be a better system, or companies here might hesitate to gamble on the U.S.
They're not there to take American jobs away, but semiconductors, electric batteries, there's not that much domain expertise in the U.S. right now. And for the Korean companies who invested a lot of money in the U.S., they need to send people there to execute on the business plan.
There's political fallout to deal with too, given how upset many South Koreans have been that an ally would treat their workers the way they did. I felt like this wasn't something that would happen in the America we know, he says. Even if perceptions of America change here, she says, I'm not sure that would actually affect the United States. Already, LG has confirmed that the opening of that battery factory will be delayed 2 to 3 months. One challenge, convincing the technicians building it to go back. Nobody is going to stay and work when it's like this, says this engineer. For now, the returning workers have been urged to rest. I'll cook something delicious to make them feel better, says this mom. And with that, he was heading home. Janice Mackey-Frayer, NBC News, Incheon, South Korea.
People said I didn't look like your average.
So, Patty, from what I read, a lot of them came on they had visas, but they didn't have the correct visas because the wait list was so long. So they came on business travel visa or business visa that doesn't necessarily allow you to work. But that's because, and I believe like the company warned them, or a warning was made to the company. Like, I think they were aware and they took a risk. The company was like, look, we're sending you out here. We need this done. And from what I read, they were actually training American workers on how to do these electric batteries. And those workers are not going to be trained anytime soon. Who knows if it will, I'm going to assume it's going to resume in a few months. But actually, the administration or Mark Rubio was trying to get them back. So, but they already left.
And this caused a domino effect because LG, another South Korean company, actually pulled out investment in America. So it's other companies in South Korea. They're paying attention.
Jeremy, you beat me to it. Yeah, like this is a slippery slope of fuckery, unfortunately. Like, for this administration to tout bringing back manufacturing and then go behind our partners who are leading manufacturing on the global stage is, I can't even fathom. But yeah, Jeremy, that's exactly what I want to come up with. But I don't think your middle America, suburban, make America white again understands that caveat of the scope of things, Jeremy, because I don't know if you've seen the lady on TikTok who was, praising herself for the whole raid in Georgia.
Yeah, she was gloating about it. And there's a lot of people in the comments from Georgia that have family members that were supposed to be working at that factory, getting trained, getting paid, and have like a future career, long-term career in that area. That it was in the comments. So it was, she shot herself in the foot when it comes to her campaign. If she's trying to be part of politics, you already lost a bunch of jobs before you even got into the job. So congratulations, she freaking. How do you lose before you even start the competition?
Yeah, I thought that was crazy. And she's a Republican, so she stopped the project that Donald Trump had been begging for, and now they're pulling out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's what you want to put on a T-shirt. Racism is expensive. That's what it is. All the racism is costing hell. It costs how many billions of dollars in investment from Hyundai, right? That's how. And then again, other companies are paying attention and they're pulling out too. It's like, you know what? I'm not gonna put my employees at risk. My employees don't even want to go anymore. They're like, fuck this. I don't want to go there and train people. What, to get arrested and put in like a piss-smelled cell? You know what I mean?
I mean, well, who was working at the facility? Like who was working at the facility? Well, I just want to know. Cause I understand there was a raid, right? But I'm saying I have friends who work at Tesla. There's no raid on Tesla though.
Are you
But
not
no,
listening
Tesla,
to the?
you understand when a company starts, like a factory starts?
He's not, Jeremy. He's not listening to the conversation. He's not understanding the
I
conversation.
just got in the room. I'm just trying to get a little bit of context because I'm scanning like, yo, is there a real
Rashad?
Wait a minute,
I
Rashad.
was gonna tell you what was going.
I know. Wait, let me clarify the question. Before everybody go crazy. Niggas like, yo, he ain't listening. He ain't. Oh my God.
Ray, you bring up for.
I know. Let me finish the question before y'all go retarded. I understand there was a raid.
Don't use that word.
I understand there was a raid. I understand that. I'm saying, like, I got friends who work. I have a friend who works at the Panasonic facility, right? They make the
So you just gonna repeat what you just said?
Yes, I'm repeating what I said.
I'm sorry.
We
all have ADHD.
I'm repeating what I said.
But we don't need you to repeat
what I said. I'm gonna finish.
You're not gonna tell me what you're gonna finish because you're gonna be in the goo.
I'm gonna finish the sentence. I can't finish what I just said.
We don't need it.
Your sentence to the goo. So, Miss Hip Hop, go ahead. What were you saying? Would you like to explain it to him? Maybe.
Yeah. So Rashad, the point of view you were getting ready to explain has nothing at all to do with the raid that just happened in Georgia, and I was watching the stage in the conversation when you came in, so it was just picking up. The raids in Georgia was because of a local white woman found out about some South Koreans working there. She made a big hoopla. ICE raided them. Lo and behold, those workers were here on visas to train Americans on how to build batteries so that way Hyundai can hire and employ them. That's what we were talking about.
Did he leave?
How dumb can you be?
Did he leave?
Don't call him dumb. He just wasn't paying attention.
The woman.
Which
one? No, Jeremy. First lady put him in the goo because.
Hello, Haiti.
No, but he
Welcome to my room.
I don't see
We're holding Black America and gay men accountable. Finally. Thank you for joining us, Lil Haiti.
They were training Americans. Hey, y'all, bitch.
But they wouldn't know that. She wouldn't know that because in her white mind, I have a bunch of Asian migrants who were